everyone, and thank you for joining us for Joy in Our Town. I'm Aaron Motley. Joy in Our Town brings you information regarding the issues and problems we face in our local communities in hopes of finding some solutions. The first portion of our program deals with the topic of education. We have with us Second Lieutenant Ronnie Davis, and he is with the Alabama National Guard. He's going to talk to us today about a battle the Guard is fighting to keep our students off drugs. He's going to talk to us about their being a part of the Drug Demand Reduction Unit, which provides personnel and equipment to support drug law enforcement agencies and community-based organizations across the state of Alabama. And we thank you for being with us today, Lieutenant.
Thank you, sir.
And just like to start off by just talking to you about why the National Guard would take an initiative to work with young people about drugs.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, the National Guard has a sense of to protect the state, not only in war, but also home and abroad. So we have the Drug Demand Reduction or National Guard Counter Drug Program that goes out, teaches kids, you know, our assets in the schools that'll be our futures one day, and we'd like to protect them also.
Okay. How long has this initiative been
the counter-drug program's been around, I think it's since the early 90s. So, and drug demand reduction has been fully a part of that since the beginning of time. So.
And since you've been a part of this, what kind of results have you seen? Or I should just say, well, why would you be a part of something like that?
Well, I actually started out in the field, the supply reduction side, pulling up marijuana plants. So as an E4, so I've gotten promoted and I moved up to the drug demand reduction administrator position, which is I'm in now. I really love it. It's making, I feel it's making a difference with the kids because you get to see them on a daily basis, see their reaction.
And what's that doing for you?
It makes me feel better, you know, put the uniform on. It's not just fighting a battle in other countries, you know, you're fighting a battle right here at home. And to make a difference right here at home, it really makes you feel good.
And why would it be called a battle? Why would you say this is a battle?
Drugs is terrible. It's tearing us up every day. Seems like every time you turn around, drugs has an effect on somebody doing something, you know, in the news. Kids today, they don't, it's not really the education that they know about the drugs. It's they need to be educated on the bad effects that drugs can have on your body and the impairment they have. It's a battle. It's a struggle to keep these kids educated on what not to do. So.
And usually when they find out about the effects that drugs has on the body, you think that this is the real key as far as their education about drugs, not just to say don't do drugs, but this is what drugs will do to you.
Yes, sir, exactly. If they understand what the drug will do to them, not necessarily it's going to keep them from going out and doing it. It will definitely educate them to think about it a lot more. You know, when they see their friends doing it, say, hey, you know, maybe I shouldn't do that. So maybe it gets them to think about it a little more. I think it does.
What happens, do you think, as far as looking at the effect of that you all are having on these young people? Anybody can talk to them about drugs. Parents can talk about drugs. Teachers can do what they can to educate them. But when someone walks in with a military uniform on, what effect does that have on most of the young people?
Well, first of all, they like seeing someone different in the schools. They see their teacher every day. When you get somebody with the uniform on, I think the level of respect they have for them and just learning something new. They like we talked about earlier, they have so many questions to ask you, not just about the drugs, but they love seeing that face in there, and I think they listen a lot more, you know, to what you say, even if you're putting out. We don't put out bad information, hopefully, but even any information you put out, they're going to listen. So I mean, it gets their attention.
When you're out there doing some of these programs and you're showing them charts and you're showing them some of the effects that drugs could have on the body, what are some of the things that you talk about? And then we'll get into talking about some of the questions that they ask. What do you specifically talk about?
Well, the new Stay on Track program, we start out with communication, because if they can't communicate, they're not really going to get the effect of what you're trying to teach them. Then you go into the effects the drugs have on the body. We talk about how it impairs you. We have various activities like we have gloves that you put on, and it impairs your index finger and your thumb. So we make the kids throw a ball with these gloves on, and 9 times out of 10 they're not going to catch the ball with that glove because they don't have their whole hand. That shows a part of impairment that a drug can have on your body. The other thing is we have some drunk vision goggles. It simulates I think a 0.09 or 0.12 or something of
alcohol level.
Right, alcohol level in the body. And they put them goggles on, and we have something called a dum-dum relay. You take little dum-dum suckers and put them on a table across the room, and have the kids go try to get those suckers, and whatever team makes it back in the amount of time that are winners. But unfortunately, not many of them make it without banging their knee on a desk or something like that. So that puts them in the shoes.
What a very creative way of letting them see exactly what happens if you use certain drugs. And perhaps if they think about that, then that'll be a deterrent right there. And you brought a little chart with us. What do you have on that chart too?
The chart we have today is the FY06 accomplishments. It's got some of our HIDAP stuff on it. It also has our new Stay on Track curriculum stuff, where the kids they decorated their doors, decorated walls with the Stay on Track material. To the left-hand side is part of our HIDAP curriculum. The acronym is TAME, and then with that is tobacco, alcohol, marijuana. And it just goes through the various drugs out there, and with those acronyms, it has a lesson plan. To the right-hand side is the Red Ribbon campaign that we're a part of in the city of Montgomery. The sheriff and the police and the various local coalitions sit on that campaign, and that's one week out of every October that we do the red ribbons. National Guard actually purchases 1 million red ribbons a year and distributes them to the schools, so that's how we participate in that.
Okay, all right. Talk about some of the questions they have for you.
Some of the questions, one of the main ones is the have you ever killed anybody? Unfortunately, we do have one soldier on our staff that has been to war, and he has had to, he's been in a couple of battles and altercations. It hurts him to talk about stuff like that. I think it's good for him also. But he'll stop everything, and then the kids give him their undivided attention right then, and he tells them a little bit about what happened, and the kids kind of understand. For me, when I get that question, I kind of make light of it and say, hey, I ain't killed anybody yet. So, but hopefully I won't ever have to, and just. They kind of joke around a little bit.
But it's amazing of what things they are really concerned about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And they're thinking about their future and what they may get involved in.
Right.
And you guys really, especially with a war going on right now, can give them some enlightenment on some of the things that maybe they can look forward to. So go ahead. What other kinds of questions do they ask?
They always ask, have you ever done drugs? And that's. I mean, it's an easy question, but it's kind of hard. Also, how do you tell them? Yeah, you can sit there and say, no, you've never done drugs, but how can you get them to understand that I don't need to do drugs either. You just have to explain yourself. Look, it's bad for you. Hang around the wrong people. You're going to do the wrong things that they do. It's not just you a matter of it's a matter of not putting yourself in a situation to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
And when you all are doing these instructions, are you going from school to school, or are you having assembly programs or in other areas? That
we start out by training the teachers. We only have 4 people in our drug demand reduction program to do the whole state. So what we do is train the teachers to implement the curriculum within their schools. We've held them at the APUS library, train the trainer sessions, train up the teachers. To get the National Guard uniform out there, we designate times that we come in and teach a lesson for the teachers. You know, gives them a day off and gives us time to get the uniform out there. So.
Okay. This is not even a recruitment effort to get them into the military either, is it?
No, sir, not directly.
Yes, yes, but they can. But that's just something they respect.
Yes, sir. That's it.
I see. And perhaps at the end of some of these sessions, they'll come up to you, and some of them may talk to you personally and tell you some things that's going on with them. They can confide in you a little bit. What kinds of things can you tell that you know, as far as is the information really penetrating these kids? Are they really soaking it in? Yes, sir.
Absolutely. The one of our last classes, we had a couple of students come up. One of them was a little girl, and she you know, she said that, you know, she had family experiences with it, and she thought it was really great that this information she could even pass along to some of her family members, you know. And they give out little homework booklets that she said she was definitely going to take home and get her parents involved in it. So, I mean, that right there made me feel good. And there's another little student that he started telling us a little too much, had to get the counselors in, but
wow.
But I mean, it opened him up, you know. It made him see the real deal, I think.
So this kind of education is paying off. It's not just that they have to get the academics, but also be educated on some of the evils of society.
Yes, sir.
The things that can destroy your life, and you guys are out there to let them know that you're trying to preserve life.
Yes, sir. That's it.
That's wonderful. Got maybe another minute. If you have some other things you'd like to add concerning, you know, how this is working, and maybe even what you see for the future of our young people.
Well, the Stay on Track program is the National Guard initiative that we were pilot state of it last year, which is actually still this fiscal year. Next year, we hope to get more funding and hope to get into many other schools out there. Right now, we're just in between the Birmingham and Montgomery area. But I would like to encourage schools within this range, actually throughout the state. Whoever's viewing this, if you're in a school, if you would like that in your school, let us know. Visit our website at www.alabamacounterdrug.com and get in contact with us, and we'll definitely try to get that out there to your schools. So.
Okay, wonderful. Lieutenant Ronnie Davis, we thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having us, sir.
Lots of good information there, and thank you for all the good work that y'all are doing.
We appreciate it.
Okay, hang in there. We thank you for joining us for this portion of Joy in Our Town. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more right after this. Welcome back to the second portion of Joy in Our Town. We're going to be talking about health, and particularly seniors' health. We have with us Jessica Sawyer-Cargill, and she is with the Meals on Wheels program here in Montgomery. She's going to talk to us about why it is vital to the health of our local senior citizens. And we thank you for being with us on Joy in Our Town.
Thank you for having me.
And I'd like to just start off by asking you something concerning the health of our senior citizens. You know, we know the Meals on Wheels program is a program that caters to bringing meals out to elderly people who are living alone in most cases.
Yes, sir.
But we also need to understand how important that meal is to their health. You're serving a lot of sick people, aren't you?
Yes, sir, we are.
Okay, tell us a little bit about what you're experiencing out there as you're finding that many of our senior citizens who are living in these conditions, they happen to be sick and elderly.
Yes, sir, they are. And most of them, they're homebound. Some of them are not able to get out and, do anything. So what we do, we take them a nutritionist meal because some, they have diabetes, high blood pressure, they've had strokes, some have cancer, and just many different things. And that meal is very important to them because they're waiting for that meal to take their medication. And some of them are just waiting to just have something to eat because that meal is the only meal they probably have during the course of the day.
I see. And how often do y'all deliver these meals to each resident?
We deliver once a day, 5 days a week.
Okay, so I can understand why some of them are really, really looking forward to it because,
Yes, sir.
like you said, that may be the only meal they're getting. And so you're finding, is it the fact that, or a fact that more and more of them are having diseases like diabetes
Yes, sir.
and heart trouble?
Yes, sir. And the heart failure. So many things is going on with the seniors now.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what do y'all do as far as preparing the meals to cater to those who have some special needs?
What we do is we have an outreach worker that goes out and talk to the client, and they tell them what kind of diet they're on. And they're on low sodium diet. They are on a pureed diet, and we have different providers who's able to give us the type of meal that we really need for the seniors. So we
Okay.
just call them in and call in their diet and let them know that this is the type of meal that they need. So they provide it for us.
Okay,
Yes,
very,
sir.
very good. And before we went on, you had talked about this program is expanding. Why is it important for this program to expand, and what do you mean by expanding?
Well, we have different routes in different areas. We have routes out in South Montgomery, West Montgomery, North Montgomery. So we want to kind of target some seniors out in the East Montgomery now.
I see.
Yes, sir, because we don't have a lot of routes out there in that area. And we do have seniors who need the meals in East Montgomery. So we're trying to go to East Montgomery now.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Great. Now, talk to us a little then about, what kinds of foods are y'all preparing? I mean, you hit on that just a little bit, but as far as a healthy, balanced meal for a normal person, I mean, when I say normal, I'm talking about someone who is generally healthy,
Okay.
may not experience diabetes or heart troubles and so on, their high blood pressures. What kind of meals would y'all normally get to some people?
Okay. Now, we provide milk every day. Then we also provide the juice. We have like potatoes, broccoli, greens, with fish, just a whole nutritionist meal that, that client can eat. So it's a very good meal. They have the fruits, the vegetables, just everything they would need in order to make up that, very nutritionist diet for them.
Okay. If it were not for programs like Meals on Wheels, and I know there are others as well that will target senior citizens, but what conditions would y'all find most of our senior citizens in?
Some of them won't eat. They might eat like peanut butter crackers or, just a small portion of something. So we're finding that they just really need that meal in order to, have a balanced diet. And some of them just won't eat.
How many are y'all serving now?
We're serving 330.
330.
330 a day.
And in that 330, what percentage would you say are those who are like really sick?
Well, most of the ones we have on our program are people who have special needs. So I would say like 80%.
And most of them are living alone?
Most of them are.
Okay.
Most of them are.
Okay. And so there are a lot of things that we could look at as far as health is concerned. And when you all are delivering meals, you're delivering not just a nutritious meal or food for them, but there's something else that you all kind of provide for them when you come that would really help as far as their mental health is concerned.
Absolutely.
What would you say Meals on Wheels is doing to provide that?
We do offer, we those that can offer them spiritual help. They offer them help and go and pick up their medication. And so we have people that just do so many things. We have a chore repair. We have a program that we go out and help someone to little things they need repairing around the house, that we can do that too. And so we try to help provide for the seniors in every way we can.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And all that gives them the comfort they need and the emotional support to know that someone does care.
Someone does care. I should have brought some letters that I get from the seniors often, talking about how the program has blessed them. They would normally eat, or they would normally cook, because if that meal was not coming. So it's been a blessing to many of the seniors that we serve.
I see. Have you heard anything from any medical professionals who would say that the Meals on Wheels programs and other feeding programs is exactly what is needed to preserve the life of these seniors, or maybe they've talked about some of their patients? You may have heard some stories or testimonies from some of the medical professionals. What are you hearing?
Well, a lot of the medical doctors, they refer a lot of their seniors to our program. We have social workers, from different agencies refer the seniors to our program. And a lot of times they call in themselves to get them on the program. So we hear from them quite often.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And do they sometimes talk to you about what would be a good diet for these people that you would, that way you've heard from the right person who can say, well, they need to be on this and they can't eat that, just so you hear that.
Well, now what happens in those cases is when we have clients like that, they have already gone to the doctor. And the doctor, they have already diagnosed their case.
Okay.
And so what we do is they tell us, we write it down, we come back and we call to the providers and we let them know. So the doctors, they have already, done their job. And so if we need any additional information, we can call. And sometimes the doctor's offices, they will call us and tell us this patient needs a special diet. They need a low sodium diet. They don't need to eat greens. They tell us the reason why. So we accommodate that.
Yeah, and some of the food has to be cooked in a certain way and all that. You got any seniors who are complaining, saying, well, put a little more salt in this?
We do. But most of them say, well, eliminate this salt, or, because,
they know their condition and they know it's better.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we try not to. Most of the providers, they know. They know the seniors, and they know that, hey, we don't need to use this kind of salt. So they're very good about, looking out for the seniors' needs. They really are.
And as far as certain foods, working with medications, and you did mention that there are some who they wait for that meal because they have to eat in order to take certain medicines. And so, that's got to be really important, in getting it there on time.
It is. And that's one of the things that we stress. It's a noontime meal. And we want to get the meals to the seniors at noon, so they can, eat the meal and take their medication. Yes.
And how do y'all connect with other feeding programs? Because I know y'all only serve 5 days out of the week, and then there are others who also, because y'all care about the people that you're serving.
Absolutely.
And so one meal a day is really not enough for many of them. So I know y'all connect with and communicate with other feeding programs. How is that done?
No, we have different churches that
Yeah.
provide frozen meals for us.
Okay.
They cook the meals and they bring them into our office. And then we have different restaurants who cook meals. We have First United Methodist Church who cook frozen meals for us. We have Al Steiniger who provide meals for us. These are frozen meals.
Yeah.
And they bring them into our office, or else we go pick them up. And so we just have different providers that provide frozen meals for the seniors who's able to get out a little bit, who's still having medical problems, and can come in and pick up those meals. So we provide both ways, hot and frozen.
Yeah, and that's really what y'all are really trying to do, is to help these seniors who are living at home, so that, you know, you can keep them in that, you know, because most everybody want to live in their own home, and so as long as they can stay, you know, as independent as they can be, you know, you'll provide these meals for them. So you're not talking about folks who are, you know, living in other situations. So that's really so that's what you really want to do, is keep them living in these kind of conditions in their home as long as possible.
Absolutely.
Okay. How important is that to their health?
It's very important, because you know what? A lot of times when they have to move out of their homes, it's to them, it's almost like dying in a sense. Because a lot of them want to stay in their homes. They do, because they're familiar with their surroundings. So they don't want to depart from their homes. They're comfortable there. And so that's important, to get that meal to them so they can stay in their homes and be comfortable.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
And we love doing it. That's the important thing. We love doing it. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I'm sure there are many other people out there who would love more information, because they see the smile on your face and see the satisfaction on you as they're watching this, and they say, well, you know, that's something I can do. So give a phone number if people would like to get more information.
Okay. You can call me at 240-6765. That's my direct line. Or either you can call the agency's office number. It's 263-0532.
All right, Ms. Cargill, thank you for being with us again on Joy in Our Town. It's been a pleasure just having you today.
Yes, sir.
All right. It's been a pleasure having you to join us today on Joy in Our Town, and we'll be right here again next week at the same time, so we hope you'll join us then.